So every country on Earth faces this fundamental challenge, right? How do you build for the future when your budget is limited? Well, today we're going to dive into Bhutan's really innovative answer to that exact question.
And this really gets to the heart of the problem Bhutan set out to solve. Look, the nation has these ambitious goals for growth and development, but like a lot of governments, it's working with some very real financial constraints. The challenge is, how do you bridge that gap between your big aspirations and the reality of your bank account?
The government's goal is absolutely crystal clear. They want to boost economic growth and social well-being through better infrastructure. We're talking about the essentials: roads, power grids, hospitals, schools. The vision is definitely there, but that big question just keeps coming up. How on earth do you pay for it all?
To really understand their solution, we first need to appreciate the scale of this infrastructure challenge they were facing.
It's that classic dilemma, isn't it? Big vision, limited wallet. Just relying on the public budget for every single new road, every new hospital, or every new power plant, well, it just wasn't going to be fast enough or even feasible. They knew they needed a new model, a truly innovative approach to bring in new resources, new expertise, and frankly, new energy. And that innovative solution is what's known as a public-private partnership, or a PPP. So let's break down exactly what this model is all about. Okay, so at its core, a PPP is a long-term contract. The government partners up with a private company to deliver a public project or a service. Now, the key here is that the private partner doesn't just build something and then walk away. No way. They take on significant risks. We're talking construction delays, operational challenges, you name it. And in exchange, they get paid based on the performance over the whole life of the contract. This really illustrates a fundamental shift in the government's role. See, traditionally, the public sector manages all the resources and shoulders pretty much all the risk. With a PPP, that risk is shared. So the government's job completely transforms from being a resource manager, focused on inputs, to being a contract manager, focused entirely on making sure the private partner delivers the results they promised. This is absolutely critical because it incentivizes efficiency and long-term quality. Now, an idea like this is one thing, but making it actually work requires a solid foundation. So to make sure these partnerships succeed, Bhutan created a really robust institutional blueprint. The crucial point here is that this isn't about some ad hoc backroom deals. The entire system is built on predictability and trust, and this creates a level playing field where projects are awarded fairly and transparently, which gives confidence to both private investors and, of course, the public. So the system has three key players, and each one has a very distinct role. First, you've got the P3A, or the PPP agency, which acts as the central hub for all the technical expertise. Above them is the PPP steering committee, and they're the high-level decision-making body. And finally, you have the Gross National Happiness Commission, or GNHC, which serves as the ultimate guardian, making sure every single project aligns with Bhutan's bigger national priorities. And these institutions are guided by four core principles. The focus is on results, or outputs. Transparency is absolutely key, so much so that they don't even accept unsolicited proposals, which really helps prevent favoritism. Every project has to prove it provides value for money, which just means the best possible outcome for the public funds being invested. And finally, every single contract has clear, unmistakable lines of accountability. Okay, so now let's see how a simple idea actually travels through this framework to become a reality. This is the project lifecycle. The journey from idea to reality follows four really logical stages. It all starts with project identification, where a potential project is first screened. Next up is a really rigorous feasibility analysis to see if it actually works as a PPP. If it gets the green light, it moves to a competitive tendering and bidding process. And finally, once a partner is chosen, the long-term work of contract management begins. And the framework is smart about efficiency, too. For smaller projects, we're talking about those with a value below 150 million Nuultrum, there's a simplified and expedited process. That way, they don't get bogged down in the same level of bureaucracy as some massive infrastructure project. Here's another piece of really clever design. What about projects that are incredibly important for society, like a rural health clinic, but might not generate enough revenue on their own to attract a private investor? Well, the government can step in with something called viability gap funding to bridge that financial gap and make sure those absolutely crucial projects can still happen.
This brings us to what I think truly makes Bhutan's approach so unique. It's not just about building things, it's about ensuring every single project serves the public good.
And this right here,
This is the soul of the entire policy. It's a direct quote, and it says everything. In Bhutan, progress isn't just measured in dollars and cents. Every single project must align with the national philosophy of gross national happiness.
So success here is defined as a win for everyone. The government gains the infrastructure it needs. The citizens using the service get something that's accessible and affordable. Society as a whole benefits from things like new jobs and environmental protection. And, of course, the private partner gets a fair, financially viable investment opportunity. It's a truly holistic vision of what value means. And that leaves us with a final and pretty provocative thought. By embedding its core national philosophy right into its framework for economic development, Bhutan has created a really unique model. So the question is, could this blend of private sector efficiency and a deep commitment to public well-being be a blueprint that other nations could look to for their own sustainable development? It's a really powerful question to think about.